Alright, so I keep a lot of pretty wacky things in my sewing space, but they're actually pretty useful. Welcome to the Sewing Report. I'm Jen. This channel is all about making sewing and crafts fun and approachable, and we are going to go over some not specifically sewing related things that I keep in my sewing space that I use all the time, but they're not necessarily sewing related. Can you all relate? Alright, so the first thing, a lint roller. I got these, I think, off of Amazon. Also, links to most everything are below. Some are affiliate, but I purchased everything with my own money. Nothing is sponsored. I cannot tell you how often I use lint rollers in my everyday sewing life. I have like 6 of these around the house. So you can actually use these to sort of clean off your cutting mat. I find they're actually pretty useful if you've got stuff like embedded into your like cut lines from your rotary cutter. I use them to remove lint from fabric. I just use these constantly. Pick up loose threads. This is such a useful item. They're so cheap. I bought like a bulk pack off of Amazon. Use these all the time. I consider this a must-have, a necessity in my sewing room. So get yourself some lint rollers if you don't already have them. You're gonna use them. Also, I use this to get loose stuff off of my pressing board, because just when you're cutting and pressing fabric, just lint and little pieces of fabric, little threads just get all over the place. You can also use this on the floor, like if you wanna pick up like loose stuff off your carpet. I have long hair that sheds a lot. You can pick up that. This is a very all-purpose item. I use this all the time, so this is probably one of my #1 items here in the Sewing Report. This is a chopstick, and I cannot tell you how much I use this pretty much all the time in my sewing room. I got this for free with some Chinese food, something like that. Maybe it was from the Public Sushi, I don't know. But I use this constantly. This is literally a free wood chopstick. I use this a lot as a point turner. You might have seen it in some previous videos. They sell things like this aimed and marketed to sewists, but you don't have to pay for those items. You can just get a wooden chopstick, save your cash, use this to poke out the corners of sewing projects. You can also use this at the sewing machine if you just want to like hold something in place and you don't want your finger to get too close to the needle. So you can use this as kind of like a little finger, like except that if the needle hits this, you won't lose your finger. So this is especially useful. Get yourself one of these. You will not regret it. I use this constantly, like all the time. I cannot tell you how handy I find this chopstick. These are a more recent addition, but I can't believe I've been sleeping on these things for so long. These are water wipes. So they're kind of baby wipes, but they're 99% water. I got these from Amazon. They also have some more brand named ones that are more expensive. I got a huge box of these, and I cannot tell you how much I've been using these. I've been using these all the time. They are so handy. You can clean stuff with them. I use these constantly. So what I'll do, if something's getting a little dusty, I don't know if it's just me, but everything in my house gets dusty so fast. I used to use like paper towels and some cleaner, but this is faster. Just quickly clean off your work surface. I just cleaned off my sewing machine because it was like really dusty. You can clean so much with this, like it's crazy. So if you're ever just in need of something quick, you could use this to clean off like your sewing project. I don't know, you can use these all the time, but I totally get why parents have these, because I've been keeping these in my car, like I keep these in my bedroom. So I cannot believe I did not have these water wipes for so long. You can clean like your household items. I mean, so much you can use water wipes for. I'll just clean a little bit right now. You can clean your face. I've used them for my face, but I really see these being very handy for crafters. I find I just constantly have to clean my work surface and clean my space off. Not because of like dirt necessarily, but when I'm cutting fabric and when I'm handling stuff, it just little bits get all over the place. Do you know what I'm saying here? I just use these all the time. They're so handy, and you can get like a massive box for fairly cheap. So again, I'll link these below. These are from Amazon. I think I now have these on Subscribe and Save. By the way, Amazon Subscribe and Save is one of my life hacks. I get a lot of my household supplies delivered kind of auto ship, like especially if I know I'm gonna need something every month or whatever, I will just put it on Subscribe and Save, and then at least you don't have to worry about like, oh hey, we need more garbage bags or whatever, or we need more water wipes. You'll just get them. Kind of going along with this water theme is this random spray bottle I got from the dollar store. So you may ask, Jen, what do you use this for? I use this for pressing. Again, you may have seen me demonstrating this. What I will do, by the way, I fill this up with filtered water, so I actually don't use tap water. I just want to make sure I'm using the cleanest water possible. It sprays pretty fine. Here we go. Okay. Woo. Actually, that was kind of refreshing. And instead of filling up my steam iron with water and then, doing that route, I'll just spray this on the fabric I need to press, and then I'll just use a dry iron. So it kind of gives you the same effect, but you don't have to deal with the hassle of constantly refilling that little water chamber in your iron. You can just use this. I also believe that maybe it will help my iron have a longer lifespan because there won't be like mineral buildup or whatever from the water. And I don't know where you are, but our water here is very hard. There are like mineral deposits everywhere. In fact, we just got a water softener and it has changed my life. I cannot speak highly enough about water softeners. Huge benefit there. So hopefully that will help too, because seriously, the water here is ridiculously hard. Plus I'm also using the filtered water, so hopefully that should help. I don't want deposits in like my sewing projects and that kind of thing. Keeping like a little spray bottle here. Plus if you just need to also do a little further cleaning, you can just spray it down. Use your water wipe, clean stuff up. I'm filming this video and I'm cleaning at the same time. So I'm really multitasking here. These items more fall in the category of personal care, but I still love and use these all the time while I'm working on stuff here in the sewing space. This is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. I've tried so many lip products and this is my favorite. They have different like flavors or scents or whatever, and I just use this in place of lip balm. This is like a little bit pricey, but they last a long time. Plus occasionally they'll have like little holiday sets so you can get some like value gift sets and save a little bit of money. But this is the mango one. They also have a berry one that I like. This is peppermint. When you're working on stuff and you're sewing, you also want to like feel good. Having chapped lips drives me crazy. So I use this constantly and I usually keep one like all over the house. So this is another essential for me. And going along that same route is this Cerave moisturizing cream. I personally like to just keep my hands moisturized. And I have noticed that if I'm sewing with dry hands, my like dry skin will like snag on the fabric, and that's kind of gross. So especially if I'm working with some like finer fabrics, I've noticed a difference when my hands are moisturized versus when they're not. What I like about this one in particular is that it's not greasy. So my hands will be moisturized, but like it doesn't leave grease all over the place. Like there's no greasy fingerprints. It doesn't leave marks on my fabric or anything like that. So this stuff is my favorite. I have quite a few of these tubs around the house, but I use this a lot. Maybe it's just a personal thing. I always like to have moisturized lips and moisturized hands throughout the day. So that's just me. Maybe it's just me. This next thing you can't see directly in the video, but I'm going to pop it up right here. And that is a dehumidifier. We have a pretty large room dehumidifier directly diagonal from where I'm sitting right now. I'll link the one we have. We've had it for about 4 years. Nothing's gone wrong. Where I live, it's very humid. I'm in Florida. And one thing I am pretty, I guess, vigilant about is trying to make sure the fabric and supplies and all of my things I have here, I've invested a lot of money in these things and I want to make sure that they don't get ruined or they don't get damaged. So I find having a dehumidifier, I hope will help keep my fabric preserved. And I just find it also kind of adds to the overall quality of the air in here by not having it be super damp. Having a dehumidifier, especially if you live in a humid climate, makes a huge difference to me. So we have it running pretty much all the time. You do have to empty it every once in a while, but it really helps, especially when this is a space I'm working in every day. So I find it's totally invaluable. And going hand in hand with that, we have this thing. It's called the Hanging Bag Moisture Absorber. This is something I also kind of recently discovered, and I have really been liking this product. I got a big box of them from Amazon. So each one of these comes sealed, and then every time you want to use one, you cut open the bag. You need to keep these sealed because it absorbs moisture. All right, so there's this top section with all the moisture absorber bead things. The back can absorb the moisture. So the back is like this paper backing, and that can take in the moisture. And then the moisture drops down into this little bag down here. And then when this gets filled up and when the beads get all kind of dried up, you kind of know this is done. I have been keeping these in my closets. So I have one closet in the spare room where I keep a lot of fabric, and in that particular area in the house is pretty damp overall. So I've been kind of worried about the fabric. I have a lot of fabric stored back there. I spend a lot of money on that stuff, and I want to make sure that it lasts. So I keep this in the bedroom closet, and then I keep this in the spare room closet. And I have noticed a big difference because it's been collecting a lot of water. So I've been keeping that in there just to absorb some of the excess moisture. You know, I'm always worried about like stuff getting moldy or something mildewy or something like that. So hopefully this stuff helps. I have been finding this really useful. So if you haven't tried these yet and you do have some issues with humidity in your house or in your area, I think these are definitely worth a shot. These last items are more for entertainment purposes, if anything else, but I do find them very handy and useful. And they are an iPad and this little metal like screen stand. It's like an iPad stand. I guess you could use it for a phone. I don't know about you. I need some entertainment while I'm sewing or doing stuff. I'll listen to music. I'll listen to a podcast. I'll watch some YouTube videos just like you're doing right now. So I ordered this a while ago. It definitely fits like the Apple aesthetic, but what I like about this, it's got these little rubber grips so that your device doesn't like just come off real easy. Like this is fairly sturdy. You can also change the angle. Really cool, utilitarian. So again, I can't remember how much this was, but it was not insanely expensive. iPad's a little more expensive, although they are. I've noticed like with the recent iPads, they're definitely, I think, less, especially if you're getting like the last generation, you can get some pretty good deals on these. I use an iPad a lot just to keep up, so I'll just sort of keep it around and I'll keep it on so that I can have some entertainment while I'm doing stuff. I also will use this, believe it or not, I use this setup. So when I'm filming these videos, this camera has a flip out LCD screen so I can see myself, but it's pretty small. So I'll actually use the iPad as a monitor. So what I'll do is I'll put it on the camera and then I'll like flip it around. And then I'll use this, since it's bigger, I'll use this to be able to see myself. It's pretty much just to make sure my hair doesn't look too crazy or anything like that. So that's what I do with the iPad, but I'll put it right like kind of in front of the camera. So you see, you can see it in the shot here, but you can't see it once I put it back a little bit. So like if I put it over here, then it's out of the way, but I can still like monitor the shot. Like it gives me a good idea of like what my hair is doing. Like in one of my previous videos I did recently, I had like an errant hair that kept moving its way to the front. And by the end of the filming, like it was like here and it looked really weird. So at least with this little iPad monitor thing, I can at least tell if my hair is doing anything super crazy and fix it. So that's the last non-sewing essential for the sewing room. Do you keep anything like this in your sewing space? Let me know what it is down below in the comments. Tips for your sewing space. What else should you keep in here that I didn't list? I want to know. The weirder, the better. I'm telling you, I want to hear it all. Anyways, I'm Jen with the Sewing Report. I hope you found this video helpful. Check out some of my other videos here on the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Remember, whatever you're doing, make it fun.